How y'all doing today? I'm in his Aunt Gil, and this is another segment of Living in the Matrix. Uh, Something to help you to um, live a little better in the Matrix. The first episode was about, what is a straw man, and how what is it, and and to taking the first steps in taking yourself out of the matrix per se. Um, the first step was basically getting a PO box. Everything you get, you route every piece of mail that you get, you route to that PO box. You open a bank account, PO box. In everything you route to that PO box. Um, on this episode, we're going to talk about how to save a little bit of money uh, while we're out here actually working in the matrix. Um, Basically, it is it deals with taxes. Now, this is I know a lot of people are kind of iffy about taxes if you're working. This is for people who are working and paying federal taxes. Um, and just to let you know, I haven't paid taxes in a very long time, and uh, they haven't come after me. They can't come after me. We are we have an agreement. We've come to an understanding that I'm not going to pay taxes, and I don't owe them anything. So when you just imagine this, you come home with a check. I'm gonna say, let's say you bring home about $600. Let's say you bring home about $600 a week. Now, when you look at your check, just federal taxes alone, you may have about $150 coming out in that, along with the other uh, little lesser taxes. But the uh, the IRS is taking at least uh, 100 of that, right? So this is a way. What I'm talking about today is to how to keep their hands out of your pockets per se. Um, the first step on this aspect is to change your W-4. Now, mind you, this is not legal advice. This is just something that I have been doing for a very long time. Um, so, um, I'm not telling you to do it. I'm just telling you how. I'm telling you some things that may make your life a little easier, till we get all the way out of this. Um, One, like I said, is to change your W-4. If you're working, you're working, you're receiving a paycheck from anyone, and they're taking taxes out of your check. First thing you do is go back to your W-4 and change uh, your status to exempt. Um, and what this does is basically tells whoever is filing your taxes, whoever's taking the taxes out of your check, it's telling them that you are exempt from federal income taxes. So um, when the next time you get your check, you now hold on. Let me go back a little bit. On that W-4, you don't put anything, no exemptions. You don't write anything. Everything is, you don't even write zeros in it. You don't write anything in it. You go to where it says exempt, and you write exempt in that box, or you check that box off. Exempt. That's it. And your next check, it should be uh, whatever they were taking out in federal income taxes, it should be that much larger. Um, this is to take the sting out of it. That extra little 200, 350, 100, so many dollars goes a long way when that's always coming out of your check. And now the reason we're doing this, is because U.S. citizens, we are not U.S. citizens. First off, that's the first thing. We are not U.S. citizens. By their definition, we are not U.S. citizens. If you remember what I was talking about with the Strawman, that is the fictional entity. The fictional entity is the U.S. citizen, the one with the Social Security number, the one with the all caps name. That is the U.S. citizen. The transmitting utility is the U.S. citizen. So that U.S. citizen is liable for taxes. So now what you're doing is changing your status from it's not the U.S. citizen who is working for this company. It is me, the living man, who is working for this company. And I am not liable for the taxes of this fictional entity. That's basically what you're saying when you do this. And when it comes to filing your taxes, you don't have to file your taxes. Filing taxes for what? They didn't take anything out. Now you can file your state taxes if you want to. Me myself, I don't, because the state taxes for me, they're never a lot. They may be about $230, $200 or something like that, which I'm not necessarily worried about it. I don't need to bother. I don't need to deal with them. So yes, I let them have that. But in the meantime, throughout the year, I'm getting that extra $200, $300, $400, depending on how much you're making and how much they're taking out of your check, because you're not liable for taxes. Now, when I'm telling you this as a single man. There's no reason for me to file taxes. I don't have any children, and I'm not trying to get the earned income credit or the child income credit. I don't need any of that, because the fact is, when you as a single man, as a single person, man or woman, when you file your taxes, they do not give you everything that they took from you. Now, if I'm wrong, somebody let me know I'm wrong. Because to my understanding, there's a way to do things, but that's a whole nother segment. There's a way to do things, but let me see. Oh, I lost my train of thought. Excuse me. I've had a long day. Okay, let's get back to the tax thing. We're not liable for that because we're not the U.S. citizen. Basically, we're not the fictional entity. I'm thinking about a few things in my head right now. I'm actually working on the website right here, as you can see, to post the videos on the website. That's living in the matrix. So, this is everything that I'm saying to you right now is going on the website. So now, to give you evidence, to give you proof, and I'm about to put this up on the website too, to give you evidence of what I'm talking about. I got into it with the IRS in about 2010, 2011, about the way that I was filing taxes. So what I learned was, when you look at the 1040 form, it has a number called an OMB number. It's an OMB number. When you look up that OMB number is for a federal employee. That basically you're filing a tax return as if you were a federal employee. So, that's something that I learned back then because I looked that number up, and yes, in fact, it is true. When you file your taxes, you're filing as a federal employee when you file the 1040 form, any version of it. So I'm not a federal employee. That's one thing. The straw man is, but you aren't the straw man. The straw man is a fictional entity. The straw man isn't putting in the backbreaking work that you're putting in. So, that's where you have to. This is the separation. This is dealing with you separating from the straw man. This is a correction of your status, per se. This is the beginning of the correction of your status because you're separating from the straw man. That first thing is the taxes that they are taking from the straw man. They're taking the taxes from the straw man. So you stop that by filing exempt on your W-4 or checking exempt. No exemptions, no any of that. No zeros, no any of that. Just exempt or check exempt. And that's it. And that will save you a lot of money in the long run, because let's say they're taking $200 a week out of your check. That ends up being about $10,000, somewhere around there. 52 weeks of the year, 52 weeks. Yeah, that's $10,000. So they're not giving you, as a single person, as a single man, single woman, whatever, they're not giving you that entire $10,000 back by just simply filing your W-2. They're not giving you that back. So rather than have them give me a percentage of what they feel I should have back, I'll just keep all of my money now. So that's one of the things that you can do to have that extra money. Now, if you're going to do this, my suggestion is to do it at the beginning of the year, so you can start fresh, you can start clean, and you can get every little piece that they owe you or that they try to give back to you. Get that back, and then you start fresh without them taking anything. Or if you're at the beginning of the year and you don't care about that little change and you don't need to file your taxes, start then. But if you've been paying taxes throughout the year, I recommend finishing out the tax year, then starting it at the beginning of the year when everything starts over. That way you start off fresh without even worrying about it, and you're getting your money all at the beginning of the year. So, this is because federal taxes are voluntary. Let me say that again. Federal taxes are voluntary. This is in the IRS code. Now, I want to tell you a story. I got into it with the IRS because of what I had found out. I found out the correct form to file for the instead of the 1040, and I filed this form, and the IRS came back and said, if you filed this form again, we are going to fine you $5,000. Now, mind you, I'm filing for 2 past years. So they said this for the 2 past years. So that $5,000 was actually $10,000. And they sent me 2 envelopes for these 2 years. So, okay, I go with another back and forth, and I ask them about 3 or 4 questions. It's simply 3 or 4 questions that I learned way back when I first started learning. And basically these 3 or 4, I'm going to post them up on the website. But these 3 or 4 questions basically are dealing with basically contracts, basically. Because, again, the IRS is not part of the United States government, and you are not a U.S. citizen. Well, at least I'm not. So we went back and forth. They sent me another letter, and they said they're going to fine me another $5,000 in interest. So I came back and now mind you, this is $10,000. So right now we're at $20,000. So I went back to them with the same three questions. I didn't change my format or anything. I asked them the same 3 or 4 questions. And they came back again without answering my questions. They came back again and said, we are going to put a levy on everything that you own. Basically, we're going to take everything that you own. And plus you're going to owe us $20,000. So we're going to take everything that you own 2 times, and you're going to owe us $20,000. So I went back to them with I changed up the format of the letter a little bit, but the 3 or 4 questions were still there. And this time I put the okay, I threw the gauntlet down. I've asked you this time, and this time, how do I owe you? What part of the government are you? And you didn't answer it. So if you touch anything of mine, I will be forced to basically tear your ass up. And now, mind you, I'm paraphrasing. So the next letter that I get from them is, are you going to file your taxes? We haven't received your taxes for this year. Are you going to file your taxes? You know it's getting late in the tax season. You know, do you want to file your taxes? And I got a few of these letters, and it was like, wow. So instead of breaking down, they just basically, okay, we're going to start from zero. We're going to start this from zero and let you decide to whatever. So, but I left it alone. But what I learned was, I took what I learned and I applied it to my parents. And my parents, the IRS had been taking my parents' money for a minute. They said they owed them something close to 6 digits. It was a lot of money. But they were garnishing my father's wages. He was still working. They were garnishing his money to where my mom was telling me, when he's working 2 weeks and not really bringing home anything. So I found out what I found out. I put a letter together and told my mother, take this down to the federal building, to the IRS, and get a file stamp copy of this. And basically, I put the threat down, told them basically, long story short, the same questions. And if you don't stop this, basically, again, I'm going to tear your ass up. And again, I'm paraphrasing. So what happened after so many years, one day they took my father's check, and a few days later, there was a check, a treasury check from the IRS. Okay, that happened 3 times for the amount that they were taking out of his check. The exact amount that they were taking out of his check, they were sending it back immediately. Well, after 3 or 4 checks, because my mom wasn't spending them, she was just putting them up, like waiting, like, hold on, what is this about? So, because they didn't know any better. They're older, they didn't know any better, and they took advantage of them. So, they took, my mom called them. I told her to call them and find out what's going on. So she called them, and she told them by their estimates, they still owed the IRS $40,000. Now, mind you, this is her offering the IRS money. This is her telling the IRS, I think we still owe you money, because they didn't know any better. Still, because there's this fear propaganda going around. So, but she said, the lady at the IRS said, oh no, you don't owe us anything. Don't worry about it. You're all paid up. Don't even worry about it. And they haven't heard from the IRS ever again. So, they weren't willing to change the W-4 status. They were just happy just to have them stop taking that much of their money. But, everybody can do this, because you don't owe them anything. And they don't have the authority or the right to take from you. So that's one of the things that you can do to live your life a little more comfortable. I'm sure that few extra $100 would help a whole lot towards just you doing what you need to do. So, Islam Moors. This is Minnie Zonkel from the Moorish Republic, Chief Representative of the Moorish Republic. Uh, I hope this helps you get a little more comfortable. I have a few more episodes that I'm going to come on and talk about. And mind you, these are all things that I'm doing. So, uh, I'm not telling you anything that I'm not doing. I'm not telling you anything that I haven't done. Because all I can do is tell you what God loves, and that's the truth. Say that. Islam.